So, a new day, a new video. There's an issue that's being discussed by I don't know how many people, but the source that I got this information from seems to be a very popular YouTube channel. It's a matter here that countries in the African continent should focus on establishing their own criminal courts. Now, this will be a court where you will basically pursue justice for yourself instead of depending on the international tribunals, the Hague system, the UN system, that kind of international bodies already in place that these countries in the continent of Africa should focus on establishing their own criminal court. This fits perfectly into what I have been addressing into my channel here about white supremacy, because this has a lot to do with white supremacy, that this is something that people have already been discussing. Even politicians have even publicly said this. I think it was a former president of South Africa who said this. So at least one politician have already publicly said this thing, which means this is actually a discussion going on here, yeah? And this is a white supremacy problem, like I've been addressing basically. The fact that you can stand today and you can even say something like this shows that there's a problem. And indeed there is a problem, because these international court systems, the Den Haag, whatever, and all the bodies around, such as the UN, whatever exists here, these bodies and whatever not, they are just there by name to be representing international affairs. They are just there by name to represent international affairs and truly care about no one but white nations. That's just the plain truth. Because who established these international court tribunals again? Who established the United Nations? Who established Amnesty International? Come on guys, who established any of these international bodies and organizations that is there for human rights, whatever else that concerns international affairs here? These were all established by white men. And as I've been saying, white people, their power, their existence depends on white supremacy. And this is witchcraft. So there's no way that something established by this kind of a man here, whose power and existence is white supremacy, which is occultism. We're talking about deep level, powerful, very complicated sorcery here. So there's no way that something established by someone like this, a group of people like this, will actually benefit anybody here. Because what white supremacy even is to begin with? It's about the supremacy, the superiority of the white skin, the white man and his household. That's what white supremacy is. So you tell me that someone who established anything here will benefit no one but himself, really, by the end of the day? I'm just saying, man. Because if you look at even the war trials, the Nuremberg trials for the Second World War, what was actually addressed in these Nuremberg trials? Did they ever actually address the things they did in Asia? The things they did in Africa? The things they did in Latin America with the Nazism? Did they ever even address any of that? They all focus on what hurt them, the white population here in Europe. That was what they focused, and this is supposed to be a world war. World War II, or are you talking about White War II? Because even the first World War II was a white man's war. But the thing with white supremacy here is like, they are supreme, superior, above everyone else. In fact, these people are the only authentic human beings here. The white race is actually the only authentic humankind on the face of this earth. Which means they have the right to just go and take whatever they want to take, because they're the only authentic human beings here, meaning the entire world and its place and playing whatever is here is theirs. This is why they could easily go and try to colonize everywhere and everyone. And this is like the same problem this African continent has, and it's gotten to this point now, they will even think this way. Because number one, all the injustices that has been done throughout the continent, which are so alike, even though they claim to be different nations, that the Germans had this part, the Brits had this part, but if you look at the things people are crying about, not just in the African continent, all over the place, about what these white people did with the colonization, is very similar. It looks like the same man, the same gang, the same mafia. Am I right or wrong, guys? Honestly, if you look at everything everyone is saying all over the place globally about white supremacy and colonization and atrocities, it looks like the same mafia did it. Because what is the same power, the same force, the same witchcraft. Just different bodies, surrogates, avatars. Basically, that's what it is. They become avatars. Because white supremacy says that everyone with white skin is the same because they all came from the same man. This is what white supremacy is based on, ideology-wise anyway. That all white people are the son of one man. So they're all the same, according to their white supremacy. Yeah? But this is a major issue that is clear to me has brought this to be a discussion now in the African continent here. The things that happened during colony, the kind of atrocities, genocides, injustices that were done there, that these different nations within the African continent has literally been crying and begging Western nations to even review what they have done. To even just see what I have to say, even just listen to me what I have to say. But now the thing about this thing is here. Is it really surprising that this is the response of these Western nations? That the Germans will completely be, we don't know nothing here. Even apology you give here is a fake one. Whatever here we're going on here. This is not just in Namibia, even Tanzania, the same case. Tanzania also had German colonization there, the same thing there. They also cry and have to be begging for Germany to hear what they even have to say. But is it even surprising that this will be response of these Western nations based on white supremacy? Because they didn't do nothing wrong, because they are supreme, superior, the only authentic human being here. So they have the right to just go to Namibia, Tanzania, South Africa, wherever else they've been, yeah? They have the right to do that because they're the only authentic, real human beings here. Everything is theirs. So they did nothing wrong according to them. They did nothing wrong. So that's one reason why this will have to be this way, that you have to be crying and beg to be heard. Secondly, based on the white supremacy again, the pride and arrogance of being supreme, power and mighty. And then now you people are in a situation where you still depend on them. Am I right or wrong, guys? You still don't depend on these white people? The education system you have will replace. Who set it up? Not that you didn't have your own before, but white man completely demolished everything that you had before he came there. Everything you have today is the white man's work. Your education system, white man's system. Your healthcare is his. You use his pharmacy. Not only that, you also use his media. And you also migrate his nations. And you also beg for aid and help. And you also accept charity and all kind of things from him. So now, someone who is proud and prideful in who they are, thinking they are above and supreme and all power and mighty, the only authentic whatsoever here, did you wrong. He never had to say sorry to you. You never confronted him. You never came eye to eye. You never sat down respectfully, receiving respect from them, addressing the matter, the hurt, the harm. You just moved forward, listened to his deceptive, sweet words, and just allow him to be handing you candy. Because that's what it is. What do you call it? Okay, you built me a hospital. You built me a school. But you're still stealing my diamonds. You're still stealing my golds. You're still killing population secretly, underground wise. You're going around kidnapping people within my nation still. Isn't that candy you've been given here? It is. It is. But you accepted candy from this person before solving the issues at hand here. Now, someone who is proud and boastful like the white man, you now come to him after accepting his candy and all that stuff. You even depend on him for everything here. Because like I say, even your education system, this man destroyed what you had before. You stopped using your traditional medicines, you took his pharmacy. You depend on his hospitals. Now you really depend on this man. You allowed him to play the good man suddenly without addressing that he actually is an evil man to begin with. He didn't have to address his wickedness. You allowed him just put on the mask of the kind good man here. And then now, you bring up all these issues, but you still depend on him for everything. What response do you actually expect? No, honestly, what response is it you actually expect here? So that is another reason why things has gotten to the way it is. The fact that none of you made a priority to settle issues before accepting any goodness from this white man. That gave him the power and the edge to dominate over you even more. And he certainly has no need to apologize to you. He had no need to address on nothing. Now that he has been giving you so much and you have accepted without addressing with him anything. That's what's going on, the plain truth. In fact, this makes him think even lower of you. That's just exactly what's going on. These white men and the nations, they look their noses more down on you today than they did when they were colonizing you. Based on just what I said here. The fact that before you accepted anything from them, you should have addressed everything. basically. So now moving forward, yeah? How do we move forward from all this? From what I'm seeing here, it's a waste of time to go around hunting German government, British government, Portuguese government. This is a waste of time. You're not getting nowhere. Because at this point in time, they somehow owns you. The fact that you're using the education system, you're using the hospital, you're using the pharmacy, you're using the media. You are still receiving charity and funds from them. Even your government still receives funds from these governments. So you're wasting your time crying to them and begging them about doing anything wrong here. It's a waste of time. You're not going to get any result out of it. That's just the truth, because the way things are, the fact that you depend on them. I will say the best way forward is to completely disconnect yourself from them. That is the best solution from what I'm saying here. Completely disconnect yourselves from the white man's world, basically. Starting with evict them from your country, because this is also another problem here, that they still have power while living among you, pretend to be one of you. They're not one of you, because first they didn't even migrate there. Because this is how it works legally, that you gain nationality, citizenship, and inclusion in society based on what? Immigration, settled status, and passport. These white people don't go through any of that. So they don't qualify to be Namibians, South Africans, Zimbabweans, Botswana. They don't qualify. So you need to evict them. Because these people, they have no respect for you. In fact, it is them who are there as your nationals. They are the ones acting all the operations of the white man here in Europe. They're the one executing all these underground criminal operations. They're the ones operating all these things. You don't even know about it. They're the ones making it possible for them to still be stealing your gold, your ivory, your diamond. It's them who are there as Namibians, as South Africans, as Zimbabweans. They're the ones making it possible. So they need to go. They need to go. Not to mention that even in these nations, these people still hold even military camp for white supremacy, to train up the youths to be white supremacists in your land, claiming that it is their land. This is confusing if you don't understand white supremacy. It's their land according to them because they're the only authentic people here. And this is even why they came to begin with. Especially Germans have made that very clear recently. The Brits and Portuguese have actually been that very outspoken in terms of this, but the Germans have hidden nothing here. They came to Namibia, they came to South Africa for expansion of land. Now what does that say? They came there for the expansion of land. To take land under German authority, make German land. They did not come there for you to be friends with you, anything. Exactly as the acts have demonstrated from day one, they came there to take land, to possess it, inhabit it, and make it theirs. Because they have the right, they are white. So these people need to go. And they still teach these things to their children today. That's why we still have race problems all over the place. Because white people, they are white supremacists. It's who they are. Because it's a spiritual affair where the entire white race has been dedicated to a god of this white supremacy here. No, white supremacy is a spiritual affair. There is a God spirit, a spirit acting like God. For those of you who are Christians, the God you worship, Jesus Christ, He lives in you through the Holy Spirit. Because He lives in you, your nature, your way of thinking, your way of living, your way of doing anything become Jesus' way, because He's the God inside you. This is exactly the same thing with white supremacy. There is a God spirit in them, making them white and supremacists. and they keep teaching their children these values with this spirit inside them, you will have the same problem forever. They need to go. This is a very big and brutal method of doing things, but this is the right solution. They need to leave the continent altogether, not like the one they did in Zimbabwe, where was it Mugabe just kicked them out and they just went to Zambia and wherever else in neighboring nation, continue the BS. The white man here in Europe, the white man in Australia, the white man in America, the white man in Canada can still use them in Zambia, wherever they are, continue with their illegal criminal activities and their white supremacies. So it's not enough to just get out of my country, no, get out of the continent. Get out of the continent. This is the first step for you to start recover yourself and start building yourself up. You have to get rid of these white people altogether. They need to leave this nation, and you have to start establishing yourself, and you have to disconnect yourself from Western anything here. This sounds scary. What are we gonna do? Yeah, what did you do before white man came? No, honestly, before these white people came there, did you depend on anyone's funds? Any charity here? There we go. You lived perfectly well before them. So adapt back to that. It's gonna be painful and whatever, but I'm telling you guys, this is the correct way of getting things sorted here. Not to mention that the money you guys are so concerned about, the money that you guys so depend this white man to give you, is your money. Because with the witchcraft, these people have sacrificed the entire African continent, divided among themselves. Like Portugal has sacrificed Angola, the wealth of Angola, the prosperity of Angola, the beauty of Angola. Portugal is living off that. The same way as you guys know with voodoo, sagomas, they do this kind of thing that you can go to a voodoo priest and you can sacrifice someone's life. You can sacrifice their wealth, their finances. So what they should receive in life, you get it because you sacrifice them for yourself. You can do that with nations and continents. White people did this to you. The entire continent has been sacrificed for white excellency. And the different nations have been divided among the white man. Portugal have Angola. Germany have Namibia. Botswana, Zimbabwe, that one is Britain. Every nation has been divided to someone in the West. That's not enough. They're living off you, spiritually speaking, which means you are stuck in poverty and backwardness because they have your wealth, glory, and excellence and prosperity here. So you don't have the spiritual power to be anything here because they took it from you. As if that's not enough, they haven't stopped stealing from you. What they stole during colony is not enough. These people still take your gold, ivory, diamond, whatever behind your back, silently underground. They still do that today. So they have both. They have all your resources, the physical and the spiritual one alike. Yeah. These people need to go. Number one, just get rid of them completely. Give them no access to your land. Number one. That's the first thing to do first. And then you can start working on how you can establish yourselves and start building your own education systems, your own hospital, your own medical systems, not using the pharmacy of white man. That one is witchcraft. By now, a lot of people know a lot of things are wrong with pharmacy in general. But pharmakia, this is sorcery. You need to find your own medicine system here. And then establish your governments, understanding who you are, that you're different ethnic groups and tribal languages, cultures, and work around that to create nations and then a good flourishing continent. Because this continent really have a bad establishment here. Because who established Africa again? Yes, the white man. Who will divide the countries again? White man. The names you have, the majority of the white man gave you your names, even your flags. So you have a faulty foundation establishment by this white man to begin with. Yeah. Then you have to become religious. I don't know how many Christians we talk about here, but I'm a Christian. And this is no different to destroying your own problems. Like if you're under voodoo, someone stole your money, someone stole your destiny, someone stole your luck. The same way you will be delivering yourself from something like that. Personally, you can do that nationwide and continental. Then you have back all the wealth of the nations back to themselves, not in the hands of white man. And he's no longer there, he can no longer take anything out of the country, out of the continent. You can move on, basically. Yeah. Yeah. How did you guys live before white man came? Because we had some excellent civilizations and kingdoms in the African continent before white man came here. Even the world's richest man was an African man. Yeah. You don't need this white man, you don't. Because he's nothing but pain, a plague, and a virus, and a pest on you. Not just physical, but also spiritual. So, that was basically it for you guys.